Hey gang, Dave the Guitar Guy here, coming to you live from the south side of Chicago. Yeah, we're during the coronavirus thing and I'm going a little nuts, so I figured I'd put up a video. You know, I was looking at some of my older videos of Dave the Guitar Guy. Man, I started this 11 years ago, and then I think my last video was about 8 or 9 years ago, and now I'm just starting back up in 2020. If you see the sign behind me, my daughter just turned 18 a few days ago. And when I was doing these videos 11 years ago, she was 7 years old, man, second grade. But since kindergarten, she's been in every talent show up until 5th grade. She went into middle school, joined choir, and now she's just about to finish high school, and she's in the honors choir, which is called Bell Harmonia. And they were just about to take a trip to New York City to perform at St. John's Cathedral, Carnegie Hall, and Radio City Music Hall. I mean, she's really, really good, man. And she's completely blown past me musically. She doesn't play instruments, but her voice is angelic. And I'm just so proud of her, man. She's got music in her heart and her soul. And her understanding of musical notes, written music, and theory just has blown way past me. I mean, I can't read, never claimed to. I always learn by ear. And, you know, you can get away with it. I suggest if you're a beginner that you really do take some lessons, learn how to read music. It's not as hard as I thought it would be. My daughter's starting to teach me some stuff. But anyway, this lesson is going to be on Sweet Home Alabama, first of all. I've got my homemade Fender Stratocaster here. The thing weighs about 5 pounds total. I mean, it's a really light guitar made out of swamp ash. I just love this thing. And it's got a really good sound to it too. So what I'm gonna do is, because I have such big fat fingers and this is a pretty small neck, I'm just gonna play it once through a couple of the licks. Then I'm gonna bring out the trusty acoustic because it's got a wider neck and I think you'll be able to see the licks better. The whole thing with Sweet Home Alabama is it's D-C-G pretty much through the whole song. Even the chorus, they do D-C-G bar chords. And then there's a few little riffs we'll get to. But most of the trick of this song is the little licks in between the chords. And you really got to kind of see what my fingers are doing, and I'll try to explain what notes I'm playing and such. But this video is going to be a little longer than most of my videos. Normally, my whole idea for starting Dave the Guitar Guy was to get straight to the point, show you guys what you needed to know, and then get off of here. You know, too many people like to hear themselves talk on YouTube. And here I go, I mean, we're 3 minutes and 20 seconds into the video and I haven't played the guitar at all. So with that said, I just want to say a couple more things real quick. Ed King was not a founding member of Lynyrd Skynyrd. He joined the band, and I believe it was 1972. He was in the band Strawberry Alarm Clock, which in my opinion was a pretty lame 60s band, and it was in the days where they were all wearing like satin pajamas. But their hit song made #1 on the Billboard charts. Ed helped write that one. It was called Incense and Peppermints. You probably heard it, incense and peppermints threaten mankind, or whatever, yeah. But anyway, I wasn't into that stuff, but Ed was touring with Strawberry Alarm Clock when they were on their way down, and they were playing small colleges and things like that, and they teamed up with Skynyrd as an opening act, and Ronnie Van Zandt met Ed. They became quick, fast friends and very good friends. Leon Wilkeson, excuse me, the bass player from Skynyrd, he had some medical problems and had to leave the band for a while, so Ronnie called up Ed and said, hey, would you mind filling in and playing bass? And Ed was like, yeah, you know, I'm kind of broke though, and I'm stuck here, and I think he was North Carolina, and they said, well, we're sending a plane for you. They picked him up. The rest is kind of history. So Ed started playing bass on the Pronounced album, their first major successful album. They did a Muscle Shoals album before that, but once they did Pronounced, Leon Wilkeson came back to the band, and Ronnie told Ed, he said, you know, man, you're the worst bass player I've ever heard. He said, come tomorrow with an electric and we'll try 3 guitars out. And that's how the 3-guitar attack of Lynyrd Skynyrd was born. And they used to jam in this place called Hell House down by a lake in Jacksonville. And it was a tin shed, basically. And I promised I would never smoke on camera again, but here I am 11 years later, still smoking, about 50 pounds fatter and 11 years older. And I just shaved the head today. I had a big bushy thing going, and now it's a melon. Anyway, so they would practice down at Hell House, and one day, while everybody was plugging in, Gary Rossington was already plugged in, and he was just kind of arpeggio picking D, C, and G, and he was doing something like... and something like... he was doing some kind of look like... Anyway, so Ed said, hey man, keep that rolling. And Ed had just picked up a 72 Strat. And as he describes it, he said the thing had a monster neck on it. It was really hard to play. But it just came into his head right away to bounce the So that's how he came up with it. And then he actually said he had a dream and came up with the lead solo. Now, we're not going to learn the lead solo in this lesson today. We're just going to, this is enough. Trust me, this is going to be enough for you to chew on for a while. But I will guarantee you, I've looked at just about every lesson on Sweet Home Alabama on YouTube, and nobody's playing it the way Ed wrote it, Ed played it. And I kind of pride myself in my videos that I watch and watch and watch and listen, and I've got a pretty good ear. And I really, really try to get every single note right if I possibly can. Even if I don't play it so good, I try to get every note exact to pass that information on to you guys. And then it's up to you guys to practice it and get good at it. So please excuse my playing. I'll probably make some mistakes and stuff, but the idea is to transfer the information to you all, okay? Please like, please subscribe. I've never asked that in my videos before, but I would eventually like to make a few bucks off of YouTube if possible. So if you guys can help me out, man, I'd really appreciate it. Been going through a 3.5-year divorce here in Cook County, Illinois. It'll never end. And now the courts are shut down and they're talking that everything is going to be so backed up, it's going to be a couple of years. Anyway, all right, what I'm going to do is put down the Strat and pick up the acoustic so you guys can see my hands better. And then I'm going to try to explain what it is I'm doing. The last thing I wanted to say about Ed writing this song is back then he said he only had a 3-switched toggle switch for his pickups on the Fender, on the 72 Fender Strat he had. So he said he used the back and the middle pickups. So whatever setting that is. And a lot of times, he learned this from Jimi Hendrix, that if they call it out of phase, I guess, if you put the toggle switch between 2 settings, and they would stick like a matchstick or a piece of tape on there to get a different sound. So on this particular song though, he said he just used the back and the middle pickups on the 3-pickup Strat. Okay, there was one more thing I wanted to say about how he got the sound, but When they did record the song, they wrote it, and 4 days later, Al Cooper, their producer, had them go into the studio and record it. So that's pretty darn amazing. Ed said that he did the guitar solo in one take. Now that's insane, man, because it's such a kick-ass solo. But, you know, I do some recording with a friend in Germany, my friend Horst, and I've noticed that the more takes I do, the worse I get. And I'll have to walk away from it for a day and then come back fresh again. Because if you keep playing something over and over and over again, you're just going to get crummier at it. So Ed said he was really struggling with that wide neck 72 Strat. And I don't know much about Strats, but he said pretty much all through the 70s, Strats sucked. So if somebody wants to sell you a 70 through 79 Strat, you might want to rethink it or get some advice, because it might be a crummy guitar. Anyway, let's get started with the song. Most of the song's chords are D major, C major, and G major, and that's including the chorus, but they play it in bar chords. The rest of it is within these first 3 frets, and most of the licks are all within the 2nd fret. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, first of all, for just starting out, and I'm going to try to get a little closer to the camera and a little more even here, but so he picks the D string open twice, and now he's going to do the B string. So you're just playing a D chord, and then I hit that D again. And then this is a C chord, really, but if you play it with one finger on your A string, 3rd fret up, and your ring finger on the 3rd fret on your B string, that's all you need. So you're hitting this twice, and then here, and then an open G, and then a G chord. Okay? So let's look at that again. Now the lick comes in. You're going to hammer on the A string 2nd fret, and then the next string up, the D string, hammer on to an E note, and then off, then back to B. Now here's the killer. And I've learned to do it with this finger, it's easier, but you're gonna go all the way up to the G string, and you're playing an A note. See, here's your open A, and here's your octave. But so it's, and then you gotta just start on that note and wipe it off. So it's, and that's really the hardest part of basically playing the rhythm of the song. And now keep in mind too that the original recording of Sweet Home Alabama has several layers of guitars on it, okay? So it's not just one guitar playing, there's several. So let's start with what we know already, which is D to the C to G. And then you can just hit that G octave like that. So he does that 4 times in the intro. Now, I think it's, let's see how it goes. Now, so after the 2nd time, you want to go back to that G string and wipe off an A note, and that would be a B note, and then that would be a C note, and you're going to have to you gotta stretch. I've got heavy strings on here. You gotta stretch it up a whole note so you're actually playing this note. And I probably pulled my guitar out of tune, but so you get it? Okay. See, I did. Okay, and then so they go through that 4 times in the intro, and then he starts a big wheels keep on turning, carry me home, see my kin. And you can do these little wipe-offs. You kind of want to lay low on the licks while the singing's going on, or it gets too muddy. So just, you know, during the sing, but after that G, you can do these little licks. So I'm hitting A to B, and then open D, G. And big wheels keep on turning, carry me home to see my kin, singing songs about the Southland. Miss Obama once again, and I think it's a sin. Okay, now ready? We're gonna jump all the way up here to, on your A string, D note. And when you're playing this, you're basically playing a D bar chord, but you're only playing these 3 notes of it. A partial, they call it. So you want to start on the A on that D string and walk up the first 3 frets, and then he walks back down. Excuse me, I screwed that up. So when he walks up these 3, 1, 2, 3, and then he misses this one. So again, you're going, okay, and they do that twice. And then you can hit that G note, because you're hitting the octave. Oh, I think actually that G just keeps going out on me. Let's see. Okay. So. And that goes back into the, okay. So, the only other chord they throw in the song is an F. I believe they do it 3 times during the song. The first time being, so we got big wheels keep on turning. That's the start of the first verse. Well, I heard Mr. Young sing about her. So let's see. Well, I heard Mr. Young sing about her. I heard O'Neill put her down. Well, I hope Mr. Young will remember. Southern man don't need him around anyhow. Now they go into the pre-chorus lick, which is really tricky. You're gonna go open A and hammer on B, and then open D to G, or to E, excuse me. Let's see, do I got this right? A, B, D, oh, excuse me, open B, and then instead of hammering that back on, you go. So you're hitting that open G. You're only hammering on one end. So it's 8 notes all together. And then they go up to the bar chord. And if you ever played any blues, you want to put your pinky up here, so you go. So, and Ed always gets pissed, people miss the downbeats. And that's, you just want to hit those downbeats. So it goes something like. Then he does another wipe-off thing where you start out on the D note and hammer on an E and then play an open G. So it's... excuse me. So you hammer on that B, A to B, and then hammer on the D to E, and then hammer wipe off, and then go to C this time. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Okay, so where are we at now? Oh, okay. So when that chorus ends, see, like I said, I'm kind of playing this a little bit screwed up, but I am showing you exactly note for note what he's doing. And hopefully you guys can just... I'm trying to teach it to you in pieces, and then you guys can practice those pieces and then put it all together as the song when you get better at it. And when I'm jamming with friends, I don't even think about it. Right now I'm trying to think, and I'm trying to think of notes, which I've never really been good at learning all the notes on the guitar, on the fretboard, which probably why I don't play a lot of lead stuff. But if you can bear with me, I'm showing you note for note the way they do this. So actually, after the first chorus, they go into a solo. So let's try this once again. Now you go to your F, and then it goes into the solo. Okay, does that make sense? So one more time. Then it goes into the first solo, which I believe lasts 2 bars. Okay, so when that chorus ends, let's see, in Birmingham they love the governor, and that's when they use their second F. So he's, in Birmingham they love the governor, and this is when they go boo, 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 okay? So that's how you know when that is. So, in Birmingham, they love the governor. Boo, boo, boo. And you can play open F if you want, or you can play it bar if you're good enough with the bar chords. I like the bar chord because it makes it more full. But again, they got 3 guys playing guitar, so it's plenty full. So in Birmingham, they love the governor. F, C, D. Now we all did what we could do. Okay? Pick me up. Oh, that's it. Now we do that's the pre-chorus notes again. And then, oh yeah, and then again, and then he goes into the solo again, okay? Let's see. Okay, the last verse is, now Muscle Shoals has got the Swampers. They've been known to pick a song or two, yes they do. Lord, they get me off so much. Pick me up and I'm feeling blue. Now how about you? Now they do the and I do it slow because I'm not that good at it, but again, hammer on. So are you able to see that at least? So back to the chorus again. Okay, and then yeah, after the 4th verse with the Muscle Shoals, one more time they do the, and then they go into the solo again. So that's pretty much it, guys. Wow, 27 minutes and 30 seconds so far. I'm sorry I talked so much this time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there's, I'll be watching the comments pretty closely, and I hope I don't get a million thumbs down on this. But again, my idea was not to just play this thing fluently for you guys and show off, but it was to show it to you in the parts, note for note, the way Ed wrote it. And the poor man just passed away last year. He was such a gentle, kind soul. If you're young and you don't know much about Skynyrd, you just know there was a plane crash, please, man, watch some YouTube videos with Ed, with interviews, and you'll see what a just mellow, soft-hearted guy this was. And man, he pretty much wrote all the licks for stuff like Saturday Night Special, working for MCA. Oh, geez, there's just a whole bunch of them. But, you know, Skynyrd, every one of those guys were geniuses, and it was just amazing. They all lived in the same neighborhood. Now, Ed, again, he came from Strawberry Alarm Clock, and he's actually from San Diego. And so he's a Southern boy, but from Southern California. He's not from Jacksonville, Florida. He was the only one. Now, when the plane crash happened, in 1975, Ed was tired of the abuse on the road. They called it the torture tour that year. And Ed said that Ronnie would drink a lot of whiskey on the road. When they all practiced at Hell House, it was just beer. But Ronnie would get pretty violent with some of the guys if they made mistakes at the show and stuff, and he would pick fights with them. Ed was just too kind of a soul. He couldn't take it anymore, so he packed up his stuff and left in the middle of the night. He never went back to the band until the reunion tour in '87, but they replaced him with Steve Gaines, and that's a story in itself, man. I mean, just amazing. Again, they captured lightning in a bottle by getting Steve. And it was because of the Honkettes, which were the three backup singers. One of the ladies' names was Cassie Gaines. And Cassie had kept bugging these guys for years. Hey, you got to try out my brother. He's been playing guitar all of his life. The guy's awesome. And these guys are like, yeah, right, whatever. Well, it came a time they were playing a Coliseum, and it just so happened Steve Gaines' band, Crawdad, which you can find a ton of their YouTube videos, they were playing at Howard Johnson's, I believe it was, or a Holiday Inn down the road. And Cassie said, hey man, give my brother a shot. You guys got about an hour before you got to go on. They said, all right, man, bring your brother over here. So she ran, got her brother. He came over, and these guys, they went through a song or two, and they said, Steve didn't even bother plugging in. He was just watching the guys going, okay, and that. And they said he had the scraggly beard, and they just thought the kid was a bum, and they didn't really hear him play or anything. And they said, all right, we'll let you come out and do one song with us. And I believe it was either T for Texas or Call Me the Breeze. But anyway, he saw that the other two guys had Gibsons, so he pulled out his Strat, and he seen the two guys were playing with picks, so he pulled out a slide out of his pocket, and they let him go ahead on a solo. And from Gary Rossington's words, all their mouths hit the ground when Steve started playing. He was just a virtuoso on just about any style. He could play blues, jazz, rock, country rock. But the guy, they said they never seen him without a guitar in his hand. He carried it with him everywhere. And anyway, this is pretty cool. So they let him play his one song, and then they told him, all right, get off the stage. And then they closed with Freebird by themselves. And then after the show, they told him, they said, hey man, go back down to that Howard Johnson's and tell your band that you just quit. You're a member of Skynyrd now, and you're coming with us. And he jumped on the tour bus with him that night, and they said his eyes were big as saucers, and he was all freaked out. He only had one guitar and one pair of clothes, but just a really cool story. I mean, they got Ed King, who was an amazing guitar player. Gary was an amazing slide player, and Alan was an amazing guitar player. And then just to pick up Steve Gaines like that, just by happenstance. And the guy was just tremendous. If you've ever heard I Know a Little, that was a Crawdad song. Steve wrote that before he joined the band. And another one of Steve's contributions was, I like to sing and dance all night. Comes to afraid, not afraid. Comes to a fix, not afraid to fight. You got that right. And that's one of the only songs where Ronnie Van Zandt shared vocals. And Steve Gaines sings the first line, Ronnie sings the second line, and they go back and forth like that, and they sing the chorus together. So if you check it out on YouTube, their live videos, you'll get to see that. It's pretty cool. And just a tidbit, this is my own personal little thing. I was 13 years old for my first rock concert, and it was called the Super Bowl of Rock series. They did it all summer long, I believe 2 years in a row at Soldier Field in Chicago. And they would have like 5 bands and start at noon and end at 10 o'clock at night. Well, the show I saw was, it was Game 3 of Soldier Field's Super Bowl of Rock. And it started out, now check this out for a lineup. It started out with 38 Special. Nobody had ever heard of him before. So Ronnie Van Zandt walked out on stage and introduced his little brother's band. He was, his brother Donnie was the singer of the band. And then after 38 Special came Journey. And they had just come out with, I think it was the Infinity album. So the only songs anybody knew were Lights and Wheel in the Sky. After Journey was REO Speedwagon, which Kevin Cronin grew up about 4 blocks away from my house where I live right now. And he took his guitar lessons at the same place I took guitar lessons when I was a kid. But Kevin still stops in the shop quite a bit. And I know the owner, Larry, at Rossi Music very well at 95th and Cicero. and he just showed me Kevin's mother unfortunately just passed away, Kevin Cronin's mom. So Kevin went back to the house to clean out the house, and he was up in the attic and found his very first guitar he got from Rossi Music. So he brought it up to Rossi and gave it to Larry, the owner, and then he wrote some stuff on it, and I have some pictures of that, but I promised I wouldn't show them. So anyway, so his 38 special, Journey, REO Speedwagon, then Lynyrd Skynyrd came out right around dusk, and I remember by then, because we were up in the nosebleeds, there was 93,000 people there that day at Soldier Field, but we were up in the bleachers. But by the time REO came down, I was with my older cousin and brother. We worked ourselves. We were probably, it was general seating or standing, but I was probably about 7 rows back. And I just remember standing in front of Alan Collins, and Billy Powell was right off to the side with his big white piano. And just seeing Ronnie up there and Leon and all those guys, I just, as a 13-year-old kid, man, it felt like they were just going to come down there and kick my ass. That's how badass they were. It was so great. And then the headliner was Ted Nugent. He didn't come out until nighttime. And that was billed as the loudest concert ever with Nugent. You just heard all the speaker levels go up when he came out. But anyway, I seen that. It was July 10th of 1977. And of course, their plane crash was October of 1977. But there's 2 full concert videos on YouTube. And I believe one of them is July 13th. And the other one, I believe, is July 3rd. So there's 3 days after I seen them and 10 days before I seen them. So it's just kind of a drag. I can't even find a photo of the Soldier Field show. If anybody knows of anybody that's got any audio, video, I'd be willing to buy. So let me know, okay? Leave it in the comments, whatever. But please, again, subscribe, like. I promise I won't do this much talking in my other videos. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, Dave the Guitar Guy, I've got Zac Brown tunes, I've got Pink Floyd tunes, I've done Breathe, Mother, Brain Damage, tons of stuff. Jimmy Buffett I've done. So I'm kind of all over the board. John Prine is another one. I did give a little bit when I still had my 12-string, and the guys in Supertramp, their management or whatever, took it off, and I actually had over 1 million views just on that video alone. But anyway, I just want to, one last thing, I want to show off this cool t-shirt, because I'm 55 years old now, but if you could see it, it says, I may be old, but I got to see all the cool bands. And if that isn't the truth, I mean, I've probably seen 500-600 top name acts and all their warm-ups. So again, I love all you guys, man. I hope to see some of my old friends back on, commenting with me and asking questions. Anything I can help with, I will definitely try to find answers if I don't have them. If I do, I'll answer every question I can. Okay? So hey, man, peace out from the south side of Chicago. This is the first time you're seeing me with my cheaters on. But anyway, it helps me see my phone better. I used to use a camera when I did my videos. Now I'm using an iPhone, and it takes good video and stuff, but as a phone, I'm an old timer and I hate technology. So love you all, man. Peace out. And please, man, do it for your grandmas, your grandpas, the little babies in the family. Do the social distancing thing, man, so we can all get back to normal as soon as possible. My daughter has lost prom, her after prom boat cruise on Lake Michigan, her graduation, grad night at Six Flags, her New York trip she's been saving up 2 years for, $3,000 it cost, her birthday, no birthday party, and all of this for a girl stepping into womanhood, being 18, really tough for her. But she's not alone. I mean, I know it's a lot of little kids with birthdays. In fact, we just organized a hometown parade, and a bunch of cars went past some young kids' homes whose birthdays are coming up. So yeah, just try to do something to help your neighbors out. Check on old folks. There's some weird toilet paper shortage going on, but join an Amazon toilet paper club, for Pete's sakes. I mean, they have toilet paper on Amazon, but they've created a danger. Now people have to go to the store every single day looking for toilet paper, when normally they would go once every 2 weeks. So stuff like that, man. Just do the social distancing. If we all did it, this whole thing would be over in a month. So, all right, cool, man. I love you guys. Again, peace out and have a good night, man. This is Dave the Guitar Guy signing off. Bye-bye now.